Part of it was also, part of the film was also filmed, the last 10 days that we were principal photography, of which there were 33, were filmed in Sault Ste. Marie, mainly due to tax credits and financing. So the interior of that rig and a lot of that storm sequence was filmed in Sault Ste. Marie in 28+ degree weather. Whereas up north, we were anywhere from 0 to 30 below, depending on the day and the wind.
And the polar bear jail, was that during the polar bear season, like in October, November, before the ice freezes?
Yes, when we went back in November to film snow sequences, that's high tourist season. There were more people in town and more hotels and things open in Churchill because that is the main tourist season in November. That's when people come up to see the bears. And we actually got to see a real bear or a bear in the wild because we never saw one when we were shooting. Everyone was really disappointed, but that was quite late in the year.
Other questions? It's hard to see here. Yes?
So
how many cubs were used?
One, but he had a stand-in. Yeah, he seemed to change color, especially when he got wet. And in post-production, digitally, we tried to whiten him up a bit and to keep it consistent. But there were times where he got pretty dirty. And again, shooting, because we started late and we were shooting in June, and we're in Churchill on the longest day of the year during the summer solstice, and there's still ice, but it's getting very rotten and dirty, so hence the bear gets dirty. No, actually the ending, and I haven't seen like the ending in its finished form. That's actually our real bear. That's our real baby bear, and Aggie, the mother bear, who lives in Vancouver with Mark Dumas, the bear trainer. There's a lovely, if you YouTube Nissan Leaf polar bear, you'll see a lovely commercial with Aggie, the mother bear, in it, who lives in Vancouver. She's 18 years old. And then below it, there's a great little 3-minute behind the scenes of how they made the commercial, and most of it is real bear. But so we filmed her separately in like the fall, a few months later in Vancouver, in front of a blue screen, and then they melded the two bears together. But that was not. There is stock footage of bears in the beginning, but the ending was actually our two actors.
Other questions? I have one. When you're shooting out on the ice like that, I mean, obviously you probably in most places can't haul an awful lot of big lighting. Did you have to use a lot of available light? And did you use what we call bounce? And
yeah, it was mostly natural light. Basically, every day we'd going to work meant a 30 to 60-minute skidoo ride. We'd be towed around in little sleds and get out to the flow edge or somewhere out onto the ice where where things would look right. But we didn't do any electrical lighting really out on the exteriors. So it was like praying for good weather. We had the luxury of only having two actors, two leads, in that we could flip days, we could move the schedule around, and that if tomorrow we wanted sun but it was going to be cloudy, we could like change our days in the schedule. So that was a luxury that one normally doesn't get. But we did use a lot of, I mean, the snow naturally bounces things in, but sometimes we take light away by adding big black tarps or putting black on the snow to create a bit of shadow and shape actors' faces. But a lot of it's luck, and we decided...
Never tell them it's luck. It's always... No, it is.
It's... in pre-production, we looked at other snow movies, and in particular a film called Snow Walker, which is a Canadian film, which was filmed in Churchill, but mostly in the summer, and a couple other sort of winter-type movies. And then spending 2 weeks up there in pre-production and realizing how quickly the weather could change, we realized we were just going to have to, hope for the best and embrace whatever nature gave us. And for the most time, we were lucky. And then other times we had to, just deal with it, whether it was during filming or doctoring it up in post-production.
Other questions? No, up the back, sorry. Go ahead.
Incredibly observed the Canadian or Italian collaboration. Can you explain that? What was like every
Well, this film is actually an Italian-Canadian co-production, so there is Italian money in it, and it's, as it said, story by Brando Quicis, the Italian producer. So it's an Italian-Canadian co-production with Canadian tax credit money, telefilm money, and some U.S. money from the U.S. sales agent, who actually has a lot of money invested in the film, I believe. But it is officially an Italian-Canadian co-pro. So it was filmed in Canada, edited in London. The sound mix was done in Italy. The composer is Canadian but lives in L.A. So it was done all over the place.
And the bear was from China.
The bear was from China. I got to spend a week in London grading the film, doing the color correction on the film, or at least the first half of it, or the first half of the grading, because the film wasn't finished. All the effects weren't there, but I basically sat for a week in a dark room and, got the colors right, and we tried to fix weather matching issues, but we were still waiting for there's a lot of visual effect shots in there, but none to do with the bear. There's no CGI bears.
Right there.
Some of the Northern Lights, were they real, or did you doctor those?
No, I'm not sure where they got those from, and I kept telling them, the editor and everyone, that I've seen lots of Northern Lights and I've never seen them look right in a movie, and I tried to explain to them what they really look like, but it's actually kind of hard to do.
I actually thought it was great. It felt quite real to me.
Oh, well, good. I've never seen them look like that.
Well, it's a story, man. It's supposed to be a little heightened. It's okay. Yes?
I'm still sitting here in awe. I find this a most powerful, inspiring story, much more convincing than what the Prime Minister of Canada has been talking about the Arctic. My confidence go to you, because the story about the bonding between the young fellow and the young cub is so inspiring. It gives me hope that maybe we can even convince the total right-wing politicians there's more to the Arctic than just straight money.
Yes, very good.
Very well.
Everybody heard that? Yeah, that's very good. I hope it gets a good distribution. I mean, we need really great, and I would call this a family film, although I enjoyed it very much as an adult. It really will appeal, I think, to a broad audience, and the bear was wonderful. He is a star, for sure. He makes you laugh, and it's true. There is a great bonding there, and a great symbolic story. I think it deserves a good audience.
Yeah, and as time went on, Dakota, the actor, and Tuck, our little bear, Tuck as he was known, they really did bond. And Mark Dumas, the trainer, I mean, Dakota and the bear were doing things that the trainer couldn't even do with the bear, by the end.
Yeah, actually.
And the bear gained a lot of weight throughout the shoot, too.
Like everybody on film shoots.
He's a puppy and he's growing.
Anything else? Right here?
What are the distribution plans?
Well, please write to E1 and tell them not to market it just as a kids' film. I think it could be more than that. But E1 is a distributor, and we don't have a U.S. distributor yet. I think the majors passed on it, but now they're kind of going out to the minors. But Hyde Park Entertainment is responsible for, selling the film to a U.S. distributor, and hopefully that will happen. But as of yet, there's no official release date, there's no poster, there's no trailer. So this is the only place the film has been seen, aside from a test screening.
Well, I don't like to use the word kids movie, because to me it's not a kids movie, it's a family movie. But remember when young people go to movies, especially if they're, say, 12 or 14 and under, they take their mom and dads because they want them to pay for it. So it will become popular if we can get it out there. That's always the trick. Two of the films that Peter shot for me, we shot in Alberta, southern Alberta. One was Road to Saddle River, which is widescreen anamorphic, and he did an amazing job, beautiful film. And then we just shot one in the Medicine Hat area, in the River Valley area there, called Heart of the Sun, and he did I don't know which one to pick as my favorite, but he is a very, very talented and fantastic cinematographer. So if there's no more questions, I guess people have places to go, and I'd like to give Peter another thank you and round of applause.
Thank you for coming, and spread the word.